and welcome to Samriddhi, your companion through your trading and investment journey. If you are curious about the stock market but don't know where to begin with, this video is just for you. In the next 20 minutes, I'll help you understand what the stock market is, how does it work, how to get started, and most importantly, how to invest wisely. You don't need a finance degree or a lot of money to invest in the stock market. Just curiosity, patience, and a little of money is enough. Think of the stock market like a giant supermarket, except instead of vegetables and snacks, you buy small pieces of companies. These are called shares or stock. When you buy a share of Infosys, you are literally becoming part owner of Infosys. Now let's understand shares and share market a bit in detail. Suppose you start a company today with some 1 lakh rupees and you are the sole owner of the company. The company starts making profit. You invested 2 more lakhs rupees in the business. The company grows even more. Still, you are the sole owner of the company. After 2 years, you know that the company has immense potentials, but you don't have the money to invest in it. Now you approach your friends to invest money in your business, and in lieu of that money, you give them ownership in your company in the form of shares. The company is still a private limited company. That is, the shares are distributed among a selected few individuals or institutions, and the ownership is highly controlled. Now I have a question for you. Did your friends enter into the stock market by investing in your company? The answer is a big no. Only when a company goes public and lists itself on the stock exchange, then only its shares become a part of the stock market. The first time when a company offers shares to the public in the primary market, it is called initial public offering. Post the shares are listed, it becomes open to trading in the secondary market, that is the stock market. The stock market is a platform where you can buy and sell shares of publicly listed companies. There are above 7,500 publicly listed companies in India whose shares are available to the public in the stock market for trading or investing. Now, how do you make money in the stock market? There are ways through which you can make money in the stock market. First, if you own shares in companies like Vedanta, Coal India, Hindustan Zinc Limited, ONGC, etc., which give a reasonable dividend, you can make money through dividends. Now, what are dividends? Dividends are that part of profit which the companies decide to pay out to the shareholders. If the dividend yield of a company is good, then along with capital appreciation, you can make good money from dividends as well. The dividend payout ratio of all companies are different. Now, it doesn't mean if a company is paying high dividend, then it's a very good stock, or if a company is paying low dividend, then it's a bad stock. The dividend payout ratio depends on a lot of things. Second, if you buy a stock today for 100 and if the stock price becomes 150 after 2 years, that's called capital appreciation. When the stock price increases, it creates a very good money-making opportunity for its investors. In fact, most of the players in the stock market who have created wealth through it have done it because the capital they invested have appreciated manyfold. The Indian stock market is full of examples like Bajaj Finance, Asian Paints, HCL, Titan, Infosys, etc., where the stock prices have increased manyfold and made those investors wealthy who bought the stocks and held them for more than a decade or so. In fact, investors like Mr. Warren Buffett or late Sri Rakesh Jhunjhunwala created fortunes by picking the right stock at the right time and holding it for the right duration. Now imagine if you bought 581 shares of Titan when the price was 86 rupees by investing 5,000 in the year 2000. Your investment would have become 20 lakhs today. 40 times growth in just 15 years. Not bad, right? Third, you can make money through stock market through trading as well. Now, what is trading? When you buy stocks for a short duration to sell it for a profit or loss, it's called trading. What is the difference between investing and trading? Investing aims at creating long-term wealth and trading aims at earning short-term profits and often losses. Imagine you plant a mango tree, that's investing. It takes years to grow and a little bit of care. But one day it starts to give fruit. But trading is like trying to buy raw mango in the morning and sell them in the evening for profit. You might earn some days and lose other days. For example, someone who had bought Asian Paints for 18 rupees in the year 2000 has seen over 120 times return. If you or your parents have invested 50,000 rupees in Asian Paints, then you would have made 68 lakhs today. But someone who trades daily in penny stocks, index, currencies, or futures and options may end up in losses as well. Why and how do stock prices change? Stock prices move due to many reasons. The major of them being the demand and supply of the share. Like any other product, the demand and the supply of the shares decide the price of it. If the demand for a share is higher than its supply, that is, more people are willing to buy the shares than who are willing to sell it, then the share prices will move up. Similarly, if the supply is more than the demand, that is, more people are trying to sell the stock than who want to buy it, then the prices of the shares would be coming down automatically. Of course, there are a lot of reasons which decides the demand and the supply of a particular share. For example, there can be company-specific reasons for which the demand of a particular stock can go up or come down. Let's take Tata Motors as an example. If the number of cars booked with Tata Motor for a particular quarter has gone up considerably, that means the company's revenue is going to increase and the company is going to book more profit. Such news or performance update of the company can drive up the prices of Tata Motors. On the contrary, if you see that the number of cars booked with Tata Motors has come down remarkably, then there is a chance that the prices of its shares might come down because investors will start speculating that Tata Motors might not make enough profit. There can be a number of reasons for which a company's performance might go up or it might come down. If the investors speculate that the company is going to do well in future, then they would want to buy its shares. But if the investors think that this particular company is not going to do well in the future, then the shares would be sold at a discount. Apart from company-specific reasons, there can be some industry-related news or some macroeconomic cue as well, which can drive the stock prices, like the money supply in the country, the way the GDP is growing in the country, the investor sentiments, etc. The market mood or some positive or negative news about the economy, the global market, or a particular company. Hence, we see there are a variety of reasons which influences the stock prices. But if you want to summarize what drives the growth of a particular stock, then we can attribute it to three main drivers: company's performance, industry's performance, and economy's performance. If it's a growing economy and it's a growing industry and the company is also managed well, the stock prices are bound to go up. For example, with the IT market boom, the stock prices of Infosys and TCS have grown manyfold. India, being an emerging economy, has very high growth rate. The software industry was also growing like anything in the 2000s, and the growth continued for almost 2 decades. And hence the appreciation in the share prices of Infosys and TCS, because they were performing well and were being managed well. On the contrary, given a growing economy and a growing industry like the software industry, Satyam Technology collapsed because of poor corporate governance. Hence, we can understand that to earn money through shares, the economy has to grow, the industry has to grow, and the company has to grow and be professionally managed well. And if you have invested in any such shares, your wealth will also grow. Next comes the question, how to pick the right stock. Now, this is tricky, but to learn how to pick the right stocks, it takes time and experience. You cannot just learn this in one day, in a month, or in a year. Hence, there are a lot of services available in the form of mutual funds, ETFs, small pieces, etc., which can help you choose the right stock and stay invested for the right time. Now, I want to focus on one more point. If the stock market gives so much return that your capital can grow 100 times, why it has got such a bad name? Is the stock market really risky? Do wise people or people from non-finance backgrounds make money through stocks? The answer to all these questions is yes. As I mentioned in the beginning of this video, that the stock market is a platform where the shares of publicly traded companies are bought and sold. There are over 7,500 publicly listed companies in India. It becomes quite challenging to pick the right stock for you. Not all 7,500 companies would give the right kind of return which you expect. If you want to make decent returns from the market, by decent I mean 12 to 15% or 18% of returns in the market, then it is possible. Only if you keep away your greed. India being an emerging economy, making 14 to 15% return in India without much brainstorming is possible. Without much brainstorming, if you would have invested 50,000 in Nifty in 2010, then your corpus would have become 2,50,000 today. 5-time returns in 15 years without much hassle is not bad, is it? Lois, a housewife, a college pass out without any stock picking ability would have made it. Only through discipline, emotional intelligence, and commitment towards goals through the ups and downs of the market. Now, you must be wondering if it is possible for almost everyone to make 12, 15 or 18% of return in the stock market, then why it has got such a bad name? We need to understand one thing over here, that wherever money is involved directly, it becomes very difficult to control our greed. Everyone wants to become wealthy overnight, and for those who want to become a millionaire overnight, or in a month or a year's time, a lot of products are available in the stock market, which are very, very risky, very leveraged, and very dangerous for retail investors or traders. A lot of people like you and I get tempted to make a lot of money in the stock market in a very short span of time, and unknowingly end up buying stocks which are not worth buying, or we start trading in leveraged products and hence end up in losses. This is the reason stock market has got such a bad name. Now the question still remains unanswered. Is the stock market risky for non-greedy investors as well? And the answer to this question is also yes. Yes, stock market is risky for non-greedy investors as well because the share prices keep fluctuating up and down. Some stocks will give exceptionally high returns and some will give exceptionally low returns. Some companies will go bankrupt and some companies will become giants. If the stock market is risky, there are ways to manage and mitigate the risks as well. Think of it like driving a car without training. It's risky. But once you know the traffic rules and drive safely, you reach the destination faster than walking. Investing blindly based on WhatsApp tips, hot stock tips is like speeding without brakes. For example, a lot of people would have invested in Yes Bank at around 200 in 2019 on the recommendation of their friends, relatives, colleagues, and today Yes Bank is trading at around 20. 5 lakhs rupees invested in Yes Bank would have become 50,000 in just 5 years. On the contrary, 5 lakhs invested in Yes Bank would have become approx 8,50,000 in 5 years. In fact, if you would have invested 5 lakh rupees in 2014, it would have become 30 lakhs rupees, and 5 lakhs invested in HDFC in 2002 would have become 4 crore 32 lakhs today. This happens when you invest based on expert judgment. Not that experts would not have bought Yes Bank shares, but they would have liquidated it when it started falling down and came below 350. This is called risk management. Institutional players follow a very stringent risk management policy, where they are okay if they are not making exorbitant profits, but they are not okay if they are making losses beyond a certain threshold. It is the risk management and the discipline which a retail trader lacks. You and I would have bought Yes Bank shares at 250, and when the institutional players were exiting, that is, smart money was exiting it. I want to make one thing clear, that taking higher risks will not always fetch higher returns, and taking low risk doesn't always mean that you will earn lower returns. Earning higher returns in the stock market is not just a function of high risk. It is also a function of your discipline, emotional intelligence, your stock picking ability, the duration for which you stay invested, etc. We will discuss all these in our upcoming videos. Now, what do you need to start? Now, let us understand with how much money you can start investing. Well, to start investing, you don't need lakhs of rupees. You can start with as little as 500 as well. In fact, when you start investing, you should start small itself, because there will be ups and downs in the market and it will test your patience at times. Hence, if you have invested little in the market in the beginning, the market fluctuations will not give you sleepless nights. And as you grow experience in the market, you can increase your stake. If you are investing a higher amount in the market, the right capital allocation needs to be there. Take expert advice before making your first investment or do your own research. You might go wrong in it, but then even if you're wrong, you can probe into your decision and understand where you have gone wrong. But do not make investments or trade on advices from friends, relatives, or social media. Now let's understand what all do you need to get started. Here's what you will need: PAN card, Aadhaar card, bank account, DMAT, and trading account, which you can open with Zerodha, Grow, Upstocks, or any other discount or full service broker of your choice. Everything can be done online in a few minutes. Now, which stock should you buy as your first stock? How do you analyze a stock, or what mistakes you should avoid while investing? How to learn investing and trading in an organized way? We will discuss these in our upcoming videos. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Do share this video with your friends and click on the bell icon so that you get notifications for our upcoming videos.